Good evening, and welcome to Planet Waves TV. The new edition being started spontaneously. I just opened up an email from my friend Yuko in England, and she said, "Oh, why don't you start doing Planet Waves TV again?" And I thought, well, since Mercury is about to go retrograde and Uranus is entering Taurus, and there's about to be this huge Pisces new moon, at least I have something to talk about. Otherwise, I might just have to sit here and stare blankly into the camera for about 15 minutes. So anyway, I am back. It has been a while. I am reporting in from my secret underground location called the Place of the Way. I know I usually do these videos in bright sunlight and all of that, but I'm here with you in the dark of night. All right, so today is March the 4th, and the sun is in Pisces, and I'm always happy when the sun is in Pisces because I am one, and identify as such as well, Cancer rising, Aquarius moon. And so we're in one of these clusters of events right now where everything seems to be happening all at once. And this happens, and it's fun when it does, and sometimes it's a little bit intense and sometimes hard to handle. And I think that it helps if you are able to handle water energy, because so many things are happening simultaneously in Pisces right now. Those being that, I've got my notes here somewhere, that at since I'm going to talk about numbers, first of all, at 1:18 p.m. Eastern Time tomorrow on the 5th, or on Tuesday the 5th, Mercury stations retrograde. And then things are quiet for a day. And then on the 6th at 3:26 a.m., 3:26 a.m., oh, that's not even a day. At 3:26 a.m. Eastern Time, Uranus enters Taurus to stay. And then a few hours later at 11:03 a.m. Eastern Time, also on Wednesday, is the Pisces new moon. And the Pisces new moon is conjunct Neptune, and it's also conjunct Vesta. So it's Sun, Moon, Neptune, and Vesta. A little planet named Nessus is right in the chart. So how do you get that to look right? So there you go. There's Vesta at 16, Neptune at 16, and then the Sun at 15. But the Moon will come right by it really soon. This is the chart for Uranus entering Taurus. Actually, see right there, 0, 0, 0, 0, 0. And then Mr. Nessus is right there in early Pisces. So there's a lot in Pisces, and this is what Mercury going retrograde looks like, in the very last degree, not only of Pisces, but the last degree of the zodiac as well. So it's two events in Pisces, and then one in Taurus. And what I have thought was so interesting about the way that these planetary ingresses that are happening now, right? There's two really important ones. Chiron just entered Aries about a week ago to stay, and then on Wednesday Uranus enters Taurus, right? So those are two really noticeable movements of planets that we all notice and we all have to live with, and they live with us, and both had previously visited their new signs last year, mainly in the middle of the year, like spring and part of the summer. Then they retrograded back into their old signs. If you recall, Chiron had been in Pisces for about 7 or 8 years, and then Uranus had been in Aries for about 7 years. This goes back to 2010, 2011, and they entered their previous signs, Pisces and Aries, together. Now they're entering their next signs together, Aries and Taurus, and this is unusual for them to be acting in this pattern. They are moving at about the same relative speed, which is interesting because Chiron has a highly variable speed, right? It goes through Aries. It's just entered Aries. It's going to take 9 years total to go through Aries, whereas when it's on the other side of the sun, close to the sun as well, it only takes 18 months to go through Libra. So Chiron's at the point in its orbit where it's moving at about the same number of degrees per year as Uranus is, and so they're synchronized. It's interesting. It's an interesting bit of history. And for those of you who are Chiron fans, you may recall that basically throughout the 1950s and the 1960s, Chiron and Uranus were in an opposition that I think happened something like 24 times. So every now and then, Chiron and Uranus sync up in their, basically average speed per year, and then hold an aspect for a long time. And in this case, the aspect is a semi-sextile, which is like something that builds a bridge between Aries and Taurus in this case. So that's interesting. And that it's entering at the time of a retrograde, I think, is also interesting, because Mercury will be retrograde. And there were two unusual interplanet retrogrades last year, which was Venus and Mars being retrograde. And my whole theory about that, which I've outlined in a number of places, is that the retrogrades of the planets that rule the signs where Chiron and Uranus are entering was kind of a shakeup to get us ready for the new energy. And there's no doubt that 2018 was a pretty tumultuous year, all kinds of wild, unusual stuff going on, and which hopefully for you is settling down, as it seems to be doing for me. Still a little bit of cleanup left to do on that here with my pen. So then let's check out the distinct features in the Mercury retrograde and the new moon, and I'll keep this short, which is my goal for this, because I can just go on for half an hour or 2 hours, and we'll save that for the new Planet Waves FM, which is posted. Okay, so the cool thing about this Mercury retrograde is that it's starting in the last degree of Pisces. And look how close it is to Chiron. It's only about 1 degree away from Chiron. Look at that. See, 29.37 right there. And then 0.53. So that's like a degree and a few arc minutes. So it comes right out to the end of the zodiac, 29.30 degrees Pisces, and stops short of making the conjunction to Chiron. And then it's going to stop and go back and travel backward for about 13, 14 degrees. So that's like, to me, that's prompting a review of the last years of Chiron in Pisces. I mean, Chiron was just there, just making the transition into the new sign. And a retrograde points us to the past. It points us inward. And it's also the combination of Mercury and Pisces is it's a reminder to look for the ways in which relationships are functioning for us cooperatively. That's special when it happens, and that's just one of my reads on the way this is kind of structured spiritually. The other interesting bit, right? It's nice when relationships are cooperative experiences instead of competitive experiences. Okay, the other bit here, if you check out the how do I get this to dim down? Combination of factors where the new moon is. Just imagine the new moon has got the same number value as the sun, and they're going to be very close to this double conjunction. This is like the ultimate Pisces new moon, because it's conjunct Neptune, which is the modern ruler of Pisces, and it's conjunct Vesta, which is a planet that has many of the same spiritual themes as Neptune does, but it's a little bit easier to handle, a little more pragmatic, and unlike Neptune, Vesta has a way of defining space. And so one thing we get is an opportunity to take this whole idea of a new moon conjunct Neptune, and this a creative and mystical, really numinous. There's ways to say that there's kind of a portal opening up. Only the portal, instead of being the usual kind of Neptune thing where, like, you're in a dream somewhere and you don't know your way around the dream and there's no orientation in the dream. Have you ever had that feeling? In this case, with Vesta, there's going to be some orientation within the dream. So Vesta's providing some structure and a sense of the organization of space. So just on a practical level, if you feel like organizing your space, if you feel like kind of tidying up, your physical surroundings, your altar, your, whatever it is. Today Dan Grimsland and I worked and tidied up the entire stage area. There's a stage. This is actually the music desk that faces at a little stage in this room, and we vacuumed and cleaned and tidied and coiled all the cables, and I dusted off all the pedals and all the amps and dusted the keyboard and made everything really nice. And I didn't plan it that way, but that's kind of the perfect thing to do with this Neptune Vesta kind of energy, is organize your space in a way that helps you use it for the purposes that you want to use it for. All right, one last really cool thing. I don't need the chart for this. Mercury is going to be retrograde till I think the 23rd, and when it stations direct, it's going to station direct in an exact conjunction to Neptune. So there's going to be a lot about Neptune in this Mercury retrograde, and the combination of Mercury and Neptune has a clairvoyant feeling, it has a visionary feeling, there's a creative feeling to it, and then there is a musical sensation to it. So something is coming through, and Neptune is delicate, it can be overwhelming, it can be easily corrupted. And so what you want to do with a lot of Neptune in the picture, if you want to use it well, is treat it gently, emphasize truth. That is to say, take every opportunity to not lie or to correct some inaccuracy you may have said in the past, and to understate things. Perhaps no need to say them at all, and then keep your channel clear, and see what comes through. All right, that's what I have to say for you tonight. I look forward to being back again with you sometime super soon. Reporting in from the place of the way in Kingston, New York. I'm Eric Francis, with my friends Henrietta and Jonah back there somewhere. All right. Lots of love, and bye for now.